May 2024. There were just two trades that I wanted to go over. I mentioned Near. Yesterday. I just mentioned that was in a crypto trade. So I wanted to break it down just in a tiny bit more detail and actually just show the entry because it was essentially today. So as a recap, we've retraced into this discount weekly fair value gap, and we've taken out lows whilst moving downwards into that gap. So right here is smart money reversal. So this is big players accumulating orders below old lows. So there are sell stops below here. So this is buy orders essentially taken up. And then within this fair value gap is your low risk buy. Here is a short-term low, and we've just made the intermediate-term low. And I mentioned last video that the short-term lows here is essentially your entry. So this intermediate-term low here essentially just confirms the move upwards. So the same thing here, the same concept of these lows within sell stops is the same concept here. So the accumulation of orders below these lows, accumulation of orders below these lows. So on the daily, I'm just going to go to, I'll just drop down to H4. So here you have an order block. So the order block that took the sell side liquidity here. Now I don't particularly have that marked out just because I feel like it's just a bit cleaner on the 1 hour. But all of these concepts are fractal. So we have a H4 order block or just your hourly breaker, which is what I've marked off here. Clearly we're in discount as well. We're in discount here. So from this low to this high, we've come down into this breaker block or H1 fair value gap or your H4 OB. Really doesn't make a difference. And I made the video like here last time, whatever. So we've had accumulation and manipulation, the exact same fractal concept. So the lows, accumulation of orders below these lows, the lows behind here, accumulation of orders here is exactly the same thing here. So this is H1, so you're going to drop down to your M15 structure and just essentially scout an entry. Now this volume imbalance is enough for your order, for your entry. We might come, you could have just set orders here, but this is enough. It's almost like your first PD array. This is enough for your order. Let's just see if it's in discount. Yeah, it's in discount as well. So it's your first PD array in discount. So I've got two trades, one from here, stop below this low. Yeah, stop below that low, and I'm gonna hold. I'm likely just to hold either to this high, a 4R, but because all time frames are aligning, like yeah, like this high, this is more of a short-term trade, so I could hold. I think the most logical low-hanging fruit would probably be just this high. That's a 4.6R, and then I also have a spot bag as well. Just get rid of that. No, I have a spot bag, so entered here off of the H1 OB, H1 breaker block, and I'll sell if it just goes below here. But clearly we've had a really good reaction, looking for a 30% gain, and we'll just see how it goes. But this could be a couple of weeks trade. This one is likely just to be maybe like a week or two or whatever. But yeah, in two trades, so more of an in detail breakdown of Near, which I'm fairly bullish on. I was also looking at, seeming as we're on the topic of actual crypto, I was also looking at TRX. TRX. So I just added a few, not many are that great, but I have my eyes on TRX. So it's quite strong for like other cryptos that fuck me. But yeah, so here's a weekly order block. Now the reason I've chosen that is because the body of the candle really respected that area, and we've broken above this swing high here as well, which confirms just a continuation of the move upwards. So from the weekly, I'm going to drop down to the daily. as you know, just go back to the weekly. The only area where I would enter is this gap here. If price comes down to here, I'll look for the same thing on the H4, which is a change in structure, same fractal nature here, and I'd enter here. Now the potential gain for TRX would be 23%, which for a spot bag isn't that bad. You could potentially hold to all-time highs, but that is fucking risky. So I would just stay here, you know, like something that's clean structure, looks good. For a 20% gain, you can be fairly confident in your trade rather than just risking it for like a 10x, just, you know, and it's never going to play out. But NIO is the main one that I'm focused on right now. Like a 30% gain is great. So on the weekly, I would expect this week, next week, you know, just within like a month, I guess, we might have hit here. Might be quicker. Yeah, peace, boys.